We're joined in our WBDK studio this morning by Steve Delarwelle, the Republican candidate for Door County Sheriff. Steve, thanks for dropping by this morning.
Morning.
Were you on duty last night, or were you?
No, I was off last night.
Off last night. Okay. Because I know you are typically you're the overnight guy.
I am the midnight sergeant for the sheriff's department. Yes.
I got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. What do you think the top 3 priorities should be for law enforcement officials in Door County?
I believe the top 3 priorities are drugs, school safety, and our budget.
Okay. And which is drugs the most important?
I think they're all important. I think the influx of heroin into Wisconsin and all the counties is a major problem that we need to address. And the school safety, what I want to see is a collaboration between the department and the schools as to how they're going to handle a major incident. We know what we're going to do because we're trained to do it, but we don't know going in how the schools are going to handle it.
Is that kind of where this Alice protocol thing has come from?
Yes, and getting that implemented or something like it is needed in the county.
Okay. Well, if you're elected, what's the first change you're going to make in the department?
The first one I want to make is getting more people involved in the department, the sergeants and deputies together. What I want to do is start an administrative day, one day a month that the sergeants would come in. We would all meet the administrators, the sergeants, and we would go over things that are coming up we need to look for, things that went well the month before, the plan ahead, get them involved in decisions made, and something we're not doing right now. We meet once a year, and I think once a month is, these people are going to be the future leaders of the department, and I'd like to get them more involved.
Steve, we were just talking, you've always been on the overnight shift. What accomplishment in your law enforcement career would you say you're most proud of?
I think it's being a field training officer and bringing in the new guys that are just coming out on the road and teaching them all the ins and outs of the job and getting them acclimated to being on the road instead of being in the jail, and giving them a base to build off of and continue their career and be successful at it.
Okay, and as a sergeant, you've done a lot of training, I'm guessing.
Yes. Most of I'd say 3/4 of the people on the road now, at one point I had them for field training, yes.
Okay. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing Door County law enforcement, and what do you do to tackle it?
I think the biggest challenge is heroin coming into the county, and I think that's a problem everywhere in the state, not only just us. We're not isolated, but in a way we are isolated being in a peninsula, and the way I feel to tackle it is we go through the investigations and arrests right now, but we need to educate people on the dangers of this drug and getting into the high schools. We have the DARE program, which is in 5th grade, which is great, but we need to get into the high schools where the kids are out and about more. They're not home with their parents at night. They're out with their friends and seeing things other than what's at home. And educating them with our drug investigators, having them give presentations. We have 2 drug recognition experts that are highly trained in drugs on the department, and I would have all 4 of those people putting on presentations for the public, for the schools, for especially the high schools, and getting them educated in what this drug can do to you. And it's needed, and I think that's one of the ways to fight it, and we're going to do that right away.
The DARE program might be almost too young for heroin, although you're finding it in younger and younger cases, but I think the high schools might be the better plan.
Yeah, when you're getting out, I remember in high school, usually in grade school and junior high, you're home most of the time because you have no means of getting out of the house, where now with high school, you're getting out with your friends and mixing it up with other school people, and you get to see more, and sometimes it's not all good.
So a little bit more about you personally, and why it is that people should vote for you in November.
Well, personally, I'm married to my wife, Treese, everybody calls her Tree, for 30 years in October. We have 2 sons, Corey and Casey. Corey is 23, he works at Marine Travel Lift in town, and Casey's 19 and is a Marine stationed in Okinawa.
Oh, okay.
So that's personal side of me. We live in Forestville, and professionally, I've been working at the Sheriff's Department since 1991. I started out in the jail and dispatch, which we all did at that time, did both of them, and did that for a year and a half before I went out on the road on patrol, and worked that on the midnight shift since I came out on the road, because I enjoyed that shift, and we had a great group of guys that I worked with that we all worked that same shift for quite a while, and it was enjoyable working with them. And I was the OIC, which is the officer in charge, for 8 years when Sergeant Moe was working midnights. And when he went to days, I was promoted to sergeant 4 years ago.
Okay.
I've been on the SWAT team for 19 years. And as I said, I was a field training officer and weapons armor for the department and snowmobile coordinator and numerous other jobs.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by this morning. We appreciate it. Steve Delarwelle, the Republican candidate for Door County Sheriff, and his Democratic opponent, Tammy Sternard, is going to join us tomorrow morning about the same time, right here at 96.7 WBDK.